My wife stopped loving me and forced me into an open marriage. Now that I've started dating someone else, she wants to add more rules. 2.5 years ago, my wife Jessica asked me to open our marriage. She didn't really ask. She strongly implied the alternative was divorce. We have 2 kids, ages 8 and 10, and the thought of splitting custody and destroying their stability made me sick. So, I said yes, but I had conditions. No bringing dates into our house where our kids live. No dating mutual friends, family members, or colleagues, and we keep everything private. Jessica agreed immediately. Looking back, she agreed way too fast. I moved into the guest bedroom that same week. The thought of her sleeping with another man and then climbing into bed next to me was unbearable. Our relationship became purely transactional. 2 people co-parenting under the same roof. We split chores, managed schedules, showed up for school events. That was it. For the next 2 years, I threw myself into work. I was pulling 74-hour weeks, sometimes more. Every extra dollar went toward paying off our mortgage, car loans, credit cards. I opened college funds for both kids and started contributing aggressively. My goal was simple: eliminate every single debt and secure my kids' future. I didn't date, didn't even try. I barely had time to sleep, let alone meet someone. Meanwhile, Jessica was going out too, sometimes 3 nights a week. She'd come home late, sometimes not until morning. I never asked questions, didn't want to know. This past summer, I finally hit my financial targets. 0 debt. Both kids' college funds fully loaded with 4 years of tuition. I even started accounts for their first home down payments. I ran the numbers and realized I could cut my hours from 74 to just 30 per week and still maintain everything. Jessica immediately wanted to take on new debt, buy a bigger house, get a luxury car. I told her no. We were done living beyond our means. She was furious, but I didn't care. With my new free time, I actually started living. I took my oldest son on a 2-week road trip across the US, just me and him, national parks and baseball games. I renovated the basement into a proper man cave, started hitting the gym 5 days a week, joined a recreational basketball league, lost 30 pounds. Then I decided to try dating. I'm not interested in random hookups. That's not who I am. I wanted to meet someone I actually connected with, someone I could be friends with first. I went on dates with a few women. Most were fine, but nothing clicked. Then I met Jane. We matched on an app and our first date lasted 5 hours. We talked about everything: books, music, politics, stupid childhood stories. She's a graphic designer, loves horror movies, has this ridiculous laugh that makes everyone around her smile. We started seeing each other regularly: art galleries on Sundays, late-night diners after concerts, Comic-Cons where we geek out over the same obscure references. And yeah, we were compatible in bed too. For the first time in 3 years, I felt like a human being instead of a paycheck. Jessica noticed. She started asking questions about my dates. I shut it down. Those were the rules. We don't discuss partners. Then, 2 weeks ago, I caught her scrolling through my phone while I was in the shower. We had a massive blowout. She claimed she had a right to know who I was seeing. I reminded her she'd spent 2 years sleeping with God knows how many men and never told me a single detail. Last Tuesday, she sat me down and said we needed to update our arrangement. She wants us to go to couples counseling. She wants me to move back into our bedroom. She wants us to go on dates together, work on our marriage, and here's the kicker: any outside relationships must be strictly physical only. No emotional connection, no going out, no building actual relationships, and we have to disclose who we're sleeping with. I told her this conversation was over. I wanted a divorce. She opened her mouth to argue, then froze, looking past me. I turned around. My daughter was standing in the doorway in her pajamas, clutching her stuffed bear. "Sweetheart, how long have you been there?" I asked gently. "Since Mom said she had other boyfriends," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. Jessica rushed toward her, but our daughter stepped back. "I recorded it," she said, holding up her tablet. The room went dead silent. I stared at my daughter, then at the tablet in her hands, then at Jessica, whose face had gone completely white, like actually white. All the color just drained right out of her. "You what?" Jessica's voice came out in this weird whisper. Our daughter's hands were shaking, but she held the tablet up higher. "I heard you guys fighting last week, and then again 3 days ago. I thought if I recorded it, maybe you'd stop lying." My heart was pounding. I slowly walked over to her and knelt down. "Baby, can I see that?" She handed it to me, and I pressed play. The audio was crystal clear. Jessica's voice saying she wanted to go to couples counseling. My voice saying I wanted a divorce. And then Jessica, clear as day, saying we needed to update our arrangement, that any outside relationships must be strictly physical only. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was what came next on the recording, from a conversation I didn't even remember having, from 3 days ago. Jessica's voice: "I mean, it's not like you were doing anything with your time before. You were just working and sleeping. At least now you have something to do on weekends." My voice: angry: "Something to do? Are you serious right now?" Jessica: "Oh, come on. You know what I mean. You've been dating Jane for what, 2 months? It's not serious." My voice. It is serious to me, Jessica. Well, it shouldn't be. That wasn't the deal. The deal was we both get to have fun, blow off steam, whatever. Not fall in love with other people. My voice. You never said that, Jessica. I didn't think I had to. I thought you'd just hook up with someone like a normal person, not go full relationship mode. The recording stopped there. My daughter must have stopped it when she heard footsteps. I looked up at Jessica. She was frozen, mouth slightly open, staring at our daughter like she'd just grown a second head. Where else did you record us? Jessica finally asked, her voice tight. Our daughter's chin started trembling. I just wanted you to be nice to Daddy again. And that broke me. I pulled her into a hug, and she buried her face in my shoulder, crying, "It's okay, sweetheart. You didn't do anything wrong." Yes, she did. Jessica's voice was getting louder. She invaded our privacy. Stop. I stood up, still holding our daughter. Just stop talking. Jessica's mouth snapped shut, but I could see the panic in her eyes. She knew exactly what this meant. Daddy, our daughter's voice was muffled against my shoulder. Are you and Mommy getting divorced? I looked at Jessica, then back at our daughter. Yeah, baby, we are. Jessica made this choking sound, but I ignored her. I carried our daughter back to her room, tucked her in, and sat with her until she fell asleep. It took almost an hour. She kept asking questions I didn't have good answers for. Where would she live? Would she still see both of us? Would she have to change schools? I answered as honestly as I could. We'd figure it out. She'd see both of us. No school changes unless she wanted them. When I finally came back downstairs, Jessica was sitting on the couch, her face in her hands. She looked up when she heard me. We need to talk about this, she said. No, we don't. She's 10 years old. She doesn't understand what she heard. She understood perfectly. I pulled out my phone. I'm moving that recording to secure cloud storage, and then I'm calling a lawyer tomorrow. Jessica shot up from the couch. You can't be serious. I'm filing for divorce. I'm moving out with the kids this weekend while you process this. And before you even think about fighting me on custody, remember that recording exists. Her face went from white to red. You wouldn't. Try me. She stopped, taking a shaky breath. Okay, look, I know I screwed up. I know I said some things I shouldn't have, but we can work through this. We can go to therapy. I'll end everything with everyone I've been seeing. We can start over. I just stared at her. You think that's what this is about? You think I'm mad because you want to change the rules? Isn't it? No, Jessica. I'm mad because you forced me into this arrangement in the first place. I'm mad because you spent 2 years doing whatever you wanted while I worked myself to death to keep our family stable. I'm mad because the second I started actually living my life, you decided that wasn't allowed. She was crying now, but I couldn't bring myself to care. I didn't think you'd actually fall for someone else. Then you should have thought about that 2.5 years ago. I went to the guest bedroom, locked the door, and started packing. I could hear Jessica on the other side knocking softly, asking me to please just talk to her. I ignored it. By 2 a.m., she finally gave up. The next morning, I woke up to 47 text messages from her. Apologies, explanations, bargaining. I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I went to our daughter's room. She was already awake, sitting on her bed with the same stuffed bear from last night. Hey, kiddo. Hi, Daddy. I sat down next to her. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Are you okay? She thought about it for a long time. I don't know. That's fair. I put my arm around her. How do you feel about coming to stay with me for a while? Just you and your brother and me. We'd get a new place. You'd have your own room. We'd still see Mom, but it would be at her place, not ours. She leaned against me. Would Jane be there? Not unless you wanted her to be. This would be our space. Just us. Okay. Her voice was quiet. Can I bring my bear? You can bring anything you want. Our son took it better than I expected. He's 12, almost 13, and I think he'd picked up on the tension for a while. When I told him we were moving out, he just nodded and said, "About time." That Saturday, I rented a spacious 3-bedroom apartment across town. It wasn't huge, but it was nice. Hardwood floors, big windows, close to their school. Jessica didn't try to stop us. She stayed in the bedroom the whole time we were packing, only coming out once to try to talk to our daughter. Sweetie, you don't have to do this. You can stay here with me. Our daughter looked at her, then at me, then back at her. I want to go with Dad. Jessica's face crumpled, but she didn't argue. She just watched from the front window as I loaded the last box into my car. That's when her parents showed up. I was in the driveway, about to close the trunk, when a silver Mercedes pulled up behind my car. Jessica's parents. Great. Her dad, Richard, got out first. He's this tall, stern-looking guy who's always made me feel like I wasn't good enough for his daughter. Her mom, Patricia, followed, looking worried. What's going on here? Richard's voice had that authoritative tone he always used, like he was still a CEO, even though he'd been retired for 5 years. I'm moving out, I said simply. Taking the kids with me. Patricia gasped. You're what? Jessica must have heard them because she came running out of the house. Mascara streaked down her face. Mom, Dad, thank God you're here. He's trying to take my children away from me. I pulled out my phone, opened the cloud storage app, and held it up. Would you like to hear why? Richard frowned. Hear what? I pressed play. The recording started. Jessica's voice filled the driveway, talking about updating our arrangement, about keeping relationships strictly physical, about how she didn't think I'd actually fall for someone else. Patricia's hand went to her mouth. Richard's expression went from stern to horrified. Is this real? He asked Jessica. She was sobbing now. Dad, please. It's not what it sounds like. It sounds like you've been cheating on your husband for 2 years. Richard's voice was cold. After you forced him to agree to it. It wasn't cheating. We had an agreement. An agreement you manipulated him into. Patricia's voice was shaking. Jessica Marie, what were you thinking? Jessica looked at her parents, desperate. You don't understand. Things were different. We weren't happy. So you get a divorce like a normal person. Richard was yelling now. You don't do this. You don't humiliate your family like this. He turned to me, and for the first time in 15 years, I saw something like respect in his eyes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened to her, but this is not how we raised her. Patricia walked over to me. Where are you taking the kids? I gave her the address of the new apartment. Can I visit them there? Her voice was gentle. I'd like to still be part of their lives, if that's okay with you. Of course. I meant it. Patricia had always been kind to me, even when Richard wasn't. Mom! Jessica's voice was panicky. You can't be okay with this. Patricia turned to her daughter with this look of disappointment I'd never seen before. You made your bed, Jessica. Now you have to lie in it. She and Richard got back in their car and drove away. They didn't even go inside to talk to Jessica, just left her standing there in the driveway, crying. I finished loading the car and drove my kids to our new place. For the first few days, it was weird. The apartment felt empty even with furniture, too quiet, but then we started settling in. Our daughter decorated her room with posters of her favorite bands. Our son set up his PlayStation in the living room. I got a small desk in my bedroom for work. On the third night, I made spaghetti for dinner. We ate on the couch watching a movie, and our daughter laughed at something stupid one of the characters did. It was a real laugh, not forced, not sad, just genuine. Dad? Our son looked at me during a commercial break. Yeah, buddy? This is better, like way better. Our daughter nodded in agreement, tomato sauce on her chin. And you know what? He was right. It was better. Jane had been giving me space since the divorce started. We'd texted a bit, but I hadn't seen her in person since that night with the tablet recording. I wasn't sure if she even wanted to keep seeing me. The whole situation was messy, and I wouldn't blame her for walking away. But then she texted me, Hey, I know things are crazy right now. No pressure, but if you want to grab coffee and just talk, I'm here. I asked if she'd be okay meeting the kids, not as my girlfriend, just as a friend. Keep it casual. She said yes immediately. The next Saturday, we met at a park near the apartment. The kids were on the playground when Jane showed up. She was wearing jeans and a hoodie, her hair pulled back in a ponytail. She looked nervous. Hey, she said, giving me a quick hug. Hey yourself. I smiled. Thanks for doing this. Of course. She glanced at the playground. Which ones are yours? I pointed them out. Our daughter was on the swings. Our son was climbing on the monkey bars. The one on the swings is my daughter. The monkey bar kid is my son. Jane watched them for a moment. They look happy. They are, or they're getting there. Anyway, my daughter noticed us and came running over. Daddy, who's that? This is my friend Jane. Jane, this is my daughter. Jane crouched down to her level. Hi, your dad's told me a lot about you. My daughter tilted her head. Are you the one who likes horror movies? Jane laughed. Guilty. You like scary movies? Not really. They're too scary. That's fair. I didn't like them either when I was your age. My daughter seemed satisfied with this answer and ran back to the swings. Our son came over next, less shy, more direct. You're Jane, right? That's me. Cool. Dad talks about you. He shrugged. Anyway, I'm going back to the monkey bars. And that was it. No big emotional moment. Just two kids meeting someone new and going back to what they were doing. Jane and I walked over to a bench and sat down. Well, that went okay, I think. They liked you, I said. How can you tell? Because they didn't ask a million questions or act weird. That means they're comfortable. We talked for about an hour while the kids played. I told her about the apartment, about Jessica's parents showing up, about how surprisingly okay the kids seemed with everything. She listened, asked questions, didn't judge. When it was time to go, my daughter came over and surprised me by hugging Jane goodbye. It was nice to meet you. Jane looked genuinely touched. You too, sweetheart. On the drive home, our daughter asked, Is Jane your girlfriend? I glanced at her in the rearview mirror. Yeah, she is. She seems nice. She is nice. Good. My daughter went back to looking out the window, apparently satisfied. That night, after the kids were in bed, I got my first message from Jessica through the co-parenting app I'd set up. The app was recommended by my lawyer. It keeps everything documented, time-stamped, official. Her message, Can we please talk? I miss the kids. I miss you. This doesn't have to be how things end. I stared at the message for a long time before typing back. You had 2 years to work on us. You chose this. I set the app to route all communication through a mediator from that point forward. I was done engaging directly. The next week, I was at work when I got a notification. Jessica had posted on Facebook. I almost didn't check it, but curiosity got the better of me. The post said, "When you sacrifice everything for your family just to be abandoned for someone younger and prettier. Number single mom, number heartbroken, number betrayed." She'd tagged about 20 mutual friends. My phone started blowing up. Some people asking if I was okay, others clearly falling for Jessica's narrative. I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I called my close friend group, about 6 people who'd known us for years. I sent them the recording, just the recording, with a message. "This is what actually happened. Do with it what you want. I'm not looking for sympathy, just setting the record straight." Within 2 hours, Jessica started getting comments on her post. Our mutual friend Trevor wrote, "Maybe tell the whole story, Jess." Another friend, Katie, "I just heard the recording. Wow." One by one, people who'd initially commented with sympathy started deleting their comments or calling her out. A few people DM'd me privately asking what the hell was going on. I told them the truth. I'd found out she'd been having an affair for 2 years after pressuring me into an open marriage. By the next morning, Jessica had deleted the post, and then she posted again. "Some of you have been sending me really hateful messages. I'm going through a hard time and don't need the negativity. If you can't be supportive, please just unfollow me." But the damage was done. Several of our mutual friends blocked her entirely. Jessica's closest friend, Brittany, even sent me a message. "I had no idea what she did to you. I'm so sorry. I can't be friends with someone like that." I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel vindicated or satisfied. I just felt tired. Jessica's affair partner, apparently, also heard the rumors. Because a week after the Facebook incident, Jessica showed up at my apartment completely unannounced, drunk, pounding on the door at 11 p.m. "Let me in," she was screaming. "I need to see my kids." I looked through the peephole. She was barely standing upright, mascara running down her face again, hair a mess. My neighbors' doors were opening, people peeking out to see what the commotion was. I didn't open the door. Instead, I called the police. "Ma'am, this is a private residence. You need to leave," I said through the door. "They're my kids too. You can't keep them from me." "Jessica, you're drunk. Go home. We can discuss visitation through the mediator tomorrow." "I don't want a mediator. I want to talk to you." One of my neighbors, an older woman named Mrs. Kim, came out of her apartment. "Excuse me, miss, but you're disturbing the entire floor. If you don't leave, I'm calling the police." "Mind your own business," Jessica shrieked at her. That's when the police showed up. I'd already called them, but Mrs. Kim apparently called too. 2 officers, a man and a woman, approached Jessica calmly. "Ma'am, we need you to calm down. I'm trying to see my children. This man is keeping my children from me." The male officer looked at me through the peephole. I opened the door a crack. "Sir, is this woman supposed to be here?" "No, officer. We're in the middle of a divorce. All custody arrangements are being handled through a mediator. She's not supposed to be here." "He's lying." Jessica was crying now. "He stole my kids. He turned everyone against me." The female officer took Jessica by the arm. "Okay, let's get you home. You can sort this out when you're sober." They escorted her downstairs. I heard her screaming the whole way down. My daughter's door opened. She looked scared. "Was that Mom?" I nodded, walking over to her. "Yeah, sweetheart, but she's okay. The police are taking her home." She sounded really sad. "I know, but that's not something you need to worry about, okay? Adults sometimes have big feelings they don't handle well. It's not your job to fix that." She nodded slowly, but I could tell she was processing it. "Can I sleep in your room tonight?" "Of course." She grabbed her bear and climbed into my bed. I lay next to her, staring at the ceiling, wondering how the hell we got here. The next day, the police report was filed. Jessica had been charged with drunk and disorderly conduct. My lawyer said it would help with the custody case. A few days later, I got a call from Patricia, Jessica's mom. "I heard about what happened," she said. "I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with her. It's not your fault." "I know, but still, I wanted to call and ask if it would be okay if I visited the kids this weekend. I miss them." "Of course. They'd love to see you." Patricia came over that Saturday with homemade cookies and a board game. The kids lit up when they saw her. We spent the afternoon playing Monopoly, and Patricia made us all laugh with stories from when Jessica was little. At one point, while the kids were in the bathroom, Patricia looked at me seriously. "I want you to know that if you need me to testify about Jessica's behavior, I will. I've enabled her for too long. She needs to face consequences." I didn't know what to say to that. "Thank you. No, thank you. For taking care of my grandchildren. For being a good father. You've always been a good man, and I'm sorry we didn't see that sooner." After she left, my daughter asked, "Is Grandma mad at Mom?" "A little bit. Yeah, good. Mom needs to say sorry." Out of the mouths of babes. The following week, things seemed to settle down. Jessica was communicating through the mediator like she was supposed to. Visitation was scheduled for every other weekend, supervised at first until she could prove she was stable. I thought maybe finally we were moving towards something that resembled normalcy. Then Jane texted me, "We need to talk. Something happened." My stomach dropped. I called her immediately. "What's wrong?" "Your wife showed up at my office." I felt my blood run cold. "What?" "Yeah, she came to my building this morning, tried to get up to my floor. Security stopped her because she didn't have a badge, and she started screaming at them that I was a homewrecker who stole her husband." "Jesus Christ. Are you okay?" "I'm fine." Building security escorted her out and told her if she comes back, they'll press charges. "But I wanted you to know, I filed a complaint with building management too, and they're putting her picture up at the front desk so she can't get in again." I texted her immediately. "I'm so sorry. I'll handle this." "It's not your fault," she said, "but she's clearly unstable." That night, I sent a message through the mediator documenting what happened. I also sent copies of the security footage Jane's building had given her. The mediator forwarded it to Jessica with a warning that any further contact with me, the children, or anyone associated with me would result in a restraining order. Jessica's response through the mediator: "I was just trying to talk to her. She's the reason my family fell apart." The mediator's response: "No further contact. Final warning." For the next few weeks, things were quiet. Too quiet. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, but it didn't. Jessica took the kids for her first supervised visitation. It went fine, apparently. The kids came back saying she took them to the movies and bought them popcorn. Then one night, both kids came to me while I was making dinner. "Dad, can we talk to you about something?" Our son looked serious. "Of course. What's up?" Our daughter spoke first. "We were talking, and we decided we want to stay with you full-time." I stopped chopping vegetables. "Full-time?" "Yeah." Our son nodded. "Mom's house feels sad and angry now, like all the time. Even when she's trying to be happy, we can tell she's not. She keeps asking us if we like Jane more than her," our daughter added. "And if you say mean things about her, it makes us uncomfortable." I sat down at the kitchen table with them. "I need you both to understand something. This is a big decision. If you want to stay here full-time, I'll make that happen. But your mom loves you, and she's going to be hurt by this." "We know," our son said, "but we're not happy there. We're happy here. We'll still visit her," our daughter added quickly. "Just not as much." I talked to my lawyer the next day. We adjusted the custody arrangement, and the mediator presented it to Jessica. She didn't respond for 3 days. When she finally did, her message was short: "Fine, if that's what they want." I felt like I should feel victorious, but I didn't. I just felt sad. For her, for the kids, for all of us. The custody change went through officially the following month. Jessica had visitation every other Sunday. Sometimes she showed up, sometimes she didn't. The kids stopped asking why when she canceled. Patricia visited regularly, though. She'd take the kids out for ice cream, help with homework, show up for school events. She became the grandmother they needed. Life moved forward. I started dating Jane officially. The kids met her a few more times, and eventually, she started coming over for dinner once a week. Nothing too serious, just us being us. Then one Saturday afternoon, there was a knock at my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. I looked through the peephole and saw Jessica standing there with 2 huge gift bags. I opened the door slowly. "What are you doing here?" "I wanted to see the kids." She held up the bags. "I brought them presents." "Jessica, you're supposed to schedule visitation through." I know, but I wanted to do something nice. Please, just 5 minutes." Against my better judgment, I let her in. The kids were in the living room watching TV. They looked up when Jessica walked in. "Mom?" Our daughter sounded surprised. "Hi, babies." Jessica's voice was shaky. "I brought you some things." She set the bags down, and the kids came over cautiously. Inside were expensive toys, a new gaming console for our son. "Wow," our son said, pulling out the console. "This is the new one." "I know. I remembered you wanted it." Jessica smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. The kids thanked her politely, but there was this weird tension in the room, like they were grateful, but also uncomfortable. "Can I talk to you both for a minute?" Jessica asked. I started to say something, but our daughter nodded. "Okay." Jessica sat on the couch, and the kids sat across from her. I stayed in the kitchen, close enough to hear but giving them space. "I know things have been really hard lately," Jessica started. "And I know I haven't been the best mom, but I want you to know that I love you both so much. And I'm trying to get better. I'm going to therapy. I'm working on myself." "That's good, Mom," our son said quietly. "I miss you," Jessica continued, her voice breaking. "I miss being a family. I miss tucking you in at night and making you breakfast and just being with you." Our daughter looked down at her hands. "We miss you too." "Then why won't you come home?" Jessica was crying now. "Why do you want to stay here?" There was a long pause. Finally, our son spoke. "Because we're happy here, Mom. We're not walking on eggshells all the time. We're not worried about you being sad or angry. We just get to be kids." Jessica's face crumpled. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I messed everything up, and I don't know how to fix it. Our daughter got up and hugged her. You don't have to fix it, Mom. You just have to be okay. They stayed like that for a minute, Jessica holding our daughter and crying into her hair. Then our son joined the hug, and they all just sat there together. After a few minutes, Jessica pulled back and wiped her eyes. I should go. You don't have to, our daughter said. Yes, I do. Jessica stood up, smoothing down her shirt. You guys are happy here. I can see that. And as much as it hurts, I'm glad you're happy. She looked at me in the doorway. Take care of them. I will. She left without another word. The kids sat on the couch with their new gifts, but they weren't excited anymore. They just looked sad. You okay? I asked them. Yeah, our son said. We're okay. Make sure to click on the screen to watch other stories.